Anna Nolan and barrister Teresa Lowe. Now, is alcohol too cheap in the country? Alcohol Action Ireland called for minimum pricing of drinks earlier this week after they did a survey which found that you can now buy a can of beer for 67 cents, which is less than the price of a soft drink a lot of the time. They say these pocket money prices are contributing to underage drinking, but are teens the only ones who could benefit from such a move? Would it make us all drink a little bit less? Fiona, you're in favour of minimum pricing for drink.
I am, yeah.
Why?
This is where my liberal credentials really get tested now. But I think from a health promotion point of view, I mean, there's just so many negatives to over drinking, which we have a culture of in Ireland. We really, really do. Minimum pricing has been shown, it has been proven that it actually reduces the consumption of alcohol. They use minimum pricing in the Scandinavian countries where it's a lot more highly regulated. We know that the further north you go in Europe, the more dissociation there is between food and drink. You know, it's automatically assumed in Ireland, even on drink advice websites, you're advised to eat, have a decent meal before you go out. So there's an assumption there that, it's separate, that the food and the drink is separate.
Yeah. People go out to drink in this country, whereas if you're in
get drunk.
Yeah, whereas in Spain people would have something to eat.
You go out to get drunk. But I mean, the downside of this and the really, really serious side of this is the impact that it has. I've worked in A&E, so I've seen the unnecessary use of resources that could be usefully put elsewhere.
Are you talking about teenagers?
Teenagers, people in their teens, in their 20s, in their 30s less so, but coming into A&E units every single night. And I know that's 15 years ago or 20 years ago. So I mean, it's gotten a hell of a lot worse than that.
And legless need their stomachs pumped, is that what you're talking
legless,
about?
I mean, absolutely flat out on trolleys, needing to be pumped while they're practically unconscious. I mean, it's really horrific to see. But there's also we were talking yesterday about domestic violence. Alcohol abuse is a key issue in terms of domestic violence. And one of the ways is looking at minimum pricing. Tesco's is coming on board now saying that this is something that should be done. There's no surprise there. I mean, the only reason that they're competing on cost is because everybody else is.
They said that in the UK, by the way, but they were also caught out because they were selling a bottle of wine for I think it was £1.11. So
and the equivalent is happening here as well. I think Mace is selling wine at $3.99. Topaz is selling 20 bottles for $17.99.
But it brings to the fore the whole question of the nanny state, Fiona, and mature, responsible adults being told what to do with their money and how they can spend it. Nick has been in touch. He says, once again, the do-gooder brigade want to tax mature and moderate drinkers because of the sins of the youth. Laws are there enforcing. They did it with fags, it didn't even work. Another texter says, I'm a Garda. Almost all kids I encounter, they chipped in with their friends to buy a big box of beer from €15 from the local supermarkets.